Eat it. Eat it. Oh my gosh. There he is. There he is. Gosh. Had to match his speed. Finally got one to chase it out of the trees, and he's bigger. He's bigger. Oh my gosh. 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 Chill. 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 Chill.
A 10-pound bass. It is without a doubt the fish of a lifetime for most anglers.
Look at that thing.
Bass of that size simply are the hardest to catch, and most anglers will fall short of that goal.
No!
Here on Tyler's Reel Fishing, I spend so much time teaching the basics of bass fishing that I've had to put my ambitions of catching my first 10-pounder on hold.
9.85 pounder.
Until now. In this series, I'm gonna spend 10 days only searching for that elusive 10-pound bass.
Oh my gosh, that could be a 10.
And teaching you guys everything I learned along the way.
There's these bushes right here in 20 feet of water.
Will I succeed in this goal of catching a 10-pounder, or will I crash and burn in flaming defeat?
Oh my gosh. Don't do it, yes! Yes!
Only time will tell. My name is Tyler, and welcome to 10 Days for a 10.
Locked in chains, oh yeah. You can never stop this train. Not a lot to knock this thing, alright.
And we really are back to reality. I mean, if you guys watched the last 10 days episode, you know that it was an absolute struggle. It was a grind. Going to that lake that I've been going to in West Texas, it's a hero zero type thing. And as you could tell by fellow YouTuber Mr. John B, he went there. In 2 days, caught a 14 and 3 10-pounders, and I went there a few days before he did, and I almost got zeroed. If it wasn't for those schools of tiny dinks, I would have gotten zeroed, and so I'm actually kind of glad that happened, because it shows you that chasing big bass is not always easy. It is not always going to be catching a big bass. It might not even be catching anything. And so today's episode, I have gone north of the Texas border into Oklahoma to a small lake here that I actually went to for some live scope training with Mr. John Sukup from the Bass Tank. And so we are back here. He's caught some 10-pounders in this lake. I know they are here, and that's a part of this series that I really want to stress, is that if you are targeting big bass like I am in this series, you have to put yourself in the position to be near a big bass. So if you're at a lake that doesn't historically have very big ones, your chances of catching a big one are of course less than if you were to go to a lake that has more big ones per square mile. And so this lake here, very small lake, it's got big ones in it. The first time I was here, I caught some 2-pounders and one close to 5, and that was just in about a 2-hour fishing period. So we're gonna get the boat on the water. We're gonna do a little bit of live scoping, and again, the purpose of this series is to show you guys how to target big fish, as you guys see me doing, in multiple different bodies of water. Yes, it would be the best percentage-wise if I wanted to catch more 10-pounders if I just went back to the same lake and did the same thing every single time, but I know you guys as the audience would get pretty bored with that. It would get monotonous. And so today, we're fishing a lake with tons of shallow grass, tons of timber. No, it is not Lake Fork. That one is coming here in the series, but it just presents a whole new atmosphere, a whole new video space for you guys to watch and, of course, learn about bass fishing. So I say we stop talking, get on the water, and maybe catch a fish? I hope so. Now, I do want to take a second to thank one of the sponsors of my life in this channel, the Pro Guide batteries right here. One of the reasons why I'm having such good live scope signal and just image on the screen is because I'm running all of my electronics to a singular 75 milliamp hour lithium battery by Pro Guide. They have one of the coolest lithiums out there, and I know lithium battery companies are popping up like rice cakes out there, but let me tell you, Pro Guide's been around for, 36, 56 years, whatever it is, a lot longer than most battery companies out there. They didn't just go to Asia and print a random battery that they found in a factory and sell it as a brand new thing. They actually spent many years designing a lithium that is different than everybody else's out there on the market. It is the only lithium that is actually rated as a marine battery. Every other lithium on the industry is not rated as a marine battery, at least to my knowledge, and it's got a great carrying handle. It's got a test feature. There's a lot of cool stuff that I don't want to bore you guys with, but if you want to check out Pro Guide, whether you're looking for a lead acid battery, an AGM battery, a battery for your dirt bike, your go-kart, or of course, marine batteries like the lithium and the regular batteries, you can use code TRF to save yourself, I think it's 10% or TRF 10, whatever it is, I'll have it on the screen. Let me tell you guys, running lithium batteries, while they are expensive, they last like years and years. Like you'll never have to buy another battery, trolling motor battery, for like a decade. So that's why I'm so confident in the lithiums. Now it's time to fish. Dang it. All right, well, it's been a few hours. Have had hardly any fish sightings on LiveScope. So I'm obviously not fishing in the right areas. I tried, relatively shallow, 6 feet or so, to see if this warm weather we have right now is maybe pushing some of those fish shallow, but obviously not. The water temp is still 44 degrees. So maybe by the evening, there might be a few more that are shallow, but 14 feet is what I just saw. 3 fish in. 2 of them followed, but I mean, like, really slow. So not exactly what you want to see. I'd like to see, schools of 5, 6, 7 fish. I think the ones that I just saw were big, but I've been jerk baiting, I've been throwing a worm, I've been throwing a drop shot. Nothing's really working. So my confidence is kind of down here right now. Smash the like button so it goes up here. Oh crap, dang it. I'm about to get snagged. Yeah, I saw that coming. Made a cast that I thought was free, but it was right over a big long stick. Seems like they're higher up in the column right now. That's kind of what I want. Come on. Gosh, got him. Oh my gosh, I got him. Is it a big one? I think it is. Oh no, I don't think it is. It's a nice bass. Not a bad way to start. Okay, our first one of the day, coming out here in the middle of the lake with a jerkbait with some weight on it so it sinks. And that fish followed it for about 2 minutes. Bring it in, let's go. Oh, that feels so stinking good. To get the skunk out of the boat and to get the monkey off my back is our first fish of the day. 2.5 pound Oklahoma little hammer. I'm so grateful for you, buddy. We're gonna let you go right down there. See ya. Man, I thought when I hooked him he was much larger. That fish followed me for, a good 45 seconds, and I just let the boat drift down, didn't touch my trolling motor at all, because I could tell that fish was interested in my lure. I could just never get him to bite. Got him to swipe at it by letting it dead stick, and when I jerked up the next time, he was there. So, hey, let's go. I guess the fish are not in the trees as of right now. They are just out in the open in 14 feet of water. Let's do it again. Did I just have one? Oh, I stinking had one. Oh no. Oh, I pulled up and it was like heavy weight. Dang it. Oh, I just saw one go back down. Shoot, I wasn't even watching LiveScope. Man. Oh, I think we figured it out. I'm feeling better right now. That's 2 bites in about 10 minutes. 1 fish landed out of the 2. Okay, there's more fish in this area. It's so interesting to me how a lot of people out there say that once you get LiveScope, you just catch fish. You throw it out there, you see them, they bite your lure, and that's not the case. You still have to figure out the exact mood and tendencies of these fish, which of course LiveScope helps you do faster, but it's almost like you're trying to solve a puzzle as you watch the screen, and it is definitely not easy to catch fish using this technology. If the fish are in a biting mood, of course it's easier, but if you gotta force feed them to eat, this is pretty challenging. Here we go. Eat it. Oh my gosh. There he is. Gosh. Had to match his speed. Finally got one to chase it out of the trees, and he's bigger.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Chill, 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 chill. Ho, ho, ho. Not too much bigger. He's a nice one regardless. Bring it in. Let's go. Oh, we're figuring them out, folks. We are figuring them out. They want the jerkbait today. Boom. And that right there is how you want him to eat the old jerk plug. Right in the mouth. And he wasn't hooked by much. He had one hook, but I'm figuring out an area where these fish are. I'm able to match their speed, and I'm sorry that I can't get a camera on LiveScope today. I have my camera on my tripod, so I'm only rocking one camera today, but stinking awesome. Thank you, buddy. Yes! Whew. I feel it, folks. A big one's coming. Well, you know what, boys and girls? There's not a whole lot more sunlight left. I also got to head home. It's Valentine's Day today, so I got to head home for dinner here in a few minutes. Not quite a full day, but I want to spend the last half an hour or so that I have with this camera here, up on the front deck or back here, showing you guys exactly what I've been looking at. Maybe in the last half hour, I can find redemption, catch ourselves a big old bass. And if not, I want to teach you guys something, because I understand this video was probably a little more slow, less fish catches for sure than all the other videos in this series so far. So I said we get the camera down here to the front deck. What you guys are seeing here is the view that I've been looking at all dang day. So what you're looking at here, I'll use my rod butt as my little pointy here. This is the bottom. I can either make this screen read deeper like that, where the bottom, of course, scrunches closer to the screen. This is the y-axis, the x-axis. Y reads depth, and x reads how far out it's shooting. I've been keeping it around 20 to 25. Again, you don't want to max out the whole screen, because then if it gets deeper, it's of course going to go beneath where the screen is. So you want to keep a little bit of room in the bottom always. And as I pan to the right here, you guys are going to see at the left a tree right there. Now, when you're looking at this picture, it's hard to tell if you've never seen this stuff before what exactly you're looking at. So you're looking at, of course, the main stalk right here. I'll zoom in on it. You're looking at a branch this way, maybe one this way as well. Kind of turn my trolling motor. As I turn the trolling motor left, the tree disappears, because I, of course, am not pointing the transducer at it. So turning it back around this way, and you might think, well, is that a fish there, or is that a fish there in the top? Honestly, I don't really think there's any fish in this tree. Usually a bass specifically has a very sharp return. Like the thing right there at 25 feet in the top of the column, kind of looks like a fish, but it is definitely not. The most fishy thing down would be down here at the bottom, a very hard green return. As you can tell, if I turn the transducer toward the base of the tree, you can tell the return gets much, much stronger and brighter. That's what I'm looking for a fish. So I'm going to get back to trolling. Again, you can tell we're in 13 feet of water right now. I'm going to go back through this area to my left over here that I had some good fish at. Follow me earlier, 2 of them to be exact. And hopefully we can show you guys what that looks like. Now, as you can tell from my chest mount here, let me turn that up. There's some sticks right over here that are just above the water, and some that are a foot above the water, and some closer to the bank that are 2 to 3 to 5 feet above the water. So I'm basically just looking at the ones, at least in my experience, that are just above the water, and usually not the super thick trees, but kind of like the thinner trees. That's what I usually look for. Again, it totally depends on the body of water. So for you, it might be cedar trees, it might be oak trees. There's a whole bunch of different types of trees that fish like to sit on. And right there is a tree out at 60. Don't really see anything, but that one kind of looks juicy. So what I do is I try, well, that was not good. That was not, there we go. I try to cast to the side of the tree. And if 2 trees are wide enough apart, I cast right down the middle to try to see if I can lure any bass away. And as you can see, my jerkbait's already all the way back at 30 feet. Jerk, jerk, there it is right there. Jerk, jerk, jerk. I did not utilize the strike zone there to the best of its potential. So there's some trees ahead of us right now. That's what you're seeing down there. There might be a fish on the back side. So I'm gonna cast straight through them, reel my jerkbait down, and then I've got some weights, some lead strip that I put around the front treble hook to allow it to sink. Oftentimes around trees like this, you're going to see, a part of a branch in the frame that looks like, or in the direction of the transducer, that looks kind of blurry. That right there is not fish or mush.
It's just a branch that's not totally in frame. And a lot of these branches here today have a slime on them, as you've probably seen me pick off my jerkbait throughout this video. Oh my gosh, am I throwing the right jerkbait? No, I'm not even throwing the right stinking jerkbait. How long have I been throwing the wrong jerkbait for? Of course it's not sinking. This is the sinking one. Oh my gosh. Y'all are gonna see now. Definitely see the difference. Looks a little bit fishy. Oh, my jerkbait, as you can see, a little too deep. And you never want to have your jerkbait beneath the potential fish. Always want to be above their eyes. Well, now that I get to the other side, it looks like a branch anyways, so reel it on in. And again, I'm not going to claim to be an expert here. I don't know what everything looks like, and I'm probably leading some of you guys astray and casting at the wrong thing, but I've always found that it's better to cast at everything, unless you're pressed for time and, again, trolling motors on high. But I have definitely gotten better at searching and finding what's a bass and what is not. So we'll let you guys know when I find a bass. Now what we have right here at about 60 to 70 feet is 2 trees, and at the end in 70 feet exactly is a big fish, and there's about one at 62 feet, maybe one at 55. As I kind of pan left and right, you can see a few fish right in that general area right at 65, 70 feet. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my trolling motor boat lined up right where that is, make a cast right at about that distance, jerk it a few times, and then I'm going to let it sink. And oftentimes you're not going to be able to find your jerkbait right away on live scope. It may take a little bit, but again, I want to let it sink because I know it's doing its thing down there, getting it into the strike zone. And you'll be able to call fish up from deeper water if they are unpressured, but sometimes you've got to leave that jerkbait sinking down there for a long time to get it into their face. Then they are more likely to eat it. So I'm going to get ourselves a little closer. You can tell we're still 65 feet away. And my jerkbait now is all the way down at the bottom at 50 feet. Oh my gosh, here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. Here he comes. Okay, we're gonna just chill. Jerk. Oh my goodness, look at them. There's one at 45 and 2 out. I'm gonna reel on in because I was already far away from them. Oh, there they are. Okay, those are nice fish. 40 and 45. Cast it right there. Sadly, the wind picked up right as I'm doing a stinking instructional. My jerkbait's now falling at 50. So there's a big fish at 40 feet and my jerkbait's sinking at 50. I'm going to kind of jerk it to get it near him, let it sink. Not even touching my trolling motor, just letting the boat drift us backwards while peeling out line and keeping my transducer pointed at the action. There's the jerkbait 50. Right through that tree. And he's not looking at it. I'm gonna readjust. I've fallen away from where those fish were. Before I get back to those fish, I'm gonna drop a drop shot on the one that's continually gotten closer to the boat. Now it's right here at 30 feet. As you can see, my drop shot with the nail, or the weight and the worm going down in front of him. Just gonna let it sit there for a second. I've not gotten any to bite the drop shot today, but not saying it's impossible. Alright, well, hop on the drop shot. Not seeing squat. Last cast with the sinking jerkbait. We're gonna go along that left side again because I can tell there's no sticks, cross sticks to get stuck on. We have jerked it, and now we're gonna let it sink. I'm gonna try to find it for you guys on the screen. There's a fish swimming at 50. Wow. That's a nice one. Oh my gosh, here he comes, here he comes, here he comes. And jerk it over this one on the edge. There he is, it's falling down onto him. Oh, they're all around it. Just gonna let it sink. Triple jerk, and it sunk all the way to the bottom. But you can see, oh, he's following it. He's underneath it. He is, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Eat it. Oh, he turned away. And now he's going back to the tree. Dang it. Oh, he came back. He came back. He came back, and now he's not so sure. Now he's looking at it. Okay. Jerk. 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 Oh my gosh. This is so cool for y'all to see. Oh, he's doing... Oh my gosh. The jerkbait in him, or he's playing, like I said, cat and mouse with it. He just can't decide if he wants to eat it or not. And when they're doing this, I don't quite know the right retrieve, honestly. I don't know if I'm supposed to let it sink into their face and then jerk it. That's kind of what I've been doing. But then he does, oh, there he is. Did a circle. Oh my goodness. And again, this jerkbait's sinking, so I can't let it sink for too long or else it'll sink down to the bottom, and that's not natural for a bait fish to do. Oh, he went away. And, oh, is he gone for good? I think he's gone for good. Man, I don't see him. Went back to the tree, and that right there, folks, is how this all works. But ideally, they eat the thing and don't just dip and dive around it.
To make sense, can I get an amen from the deacon? Now let's break bread. Say when. Meditate, put the pain away. Keep your head up and never hesitate. Meditate, put the pain away. Keep your head up and then I had to tell you. They cannot stop us, they cannot stop us, dog.
Oh. Dang it. Oh my gosh. I just broke off my 6XD on a giant. Oh my goodness. I thought, you know what? Put the camera away. These fish aren't going to bite. The school of fish you were just seeing, I threw a 6XD over. A big one came and chased it, and I broke it off. This is a new rod, too. I'm trying the 6XD cranking series. And it might be a little too stiff, and or I just had a nick in my line, which is totally possible. Yeah, it's definitely not too stiff. That was a big one. That was a grande. Oh my gosh. Let's get ourselves another 6XD and see if they want to go at it again. That's a bummer, y'all. That's a big time mega bummer because that fish chased fast. It was a big mark, and I set the hook into what felt like a stick. But I saw the stick chase, so that was just a big one. Okay, folks, I'm really upset that I wasn't recording, but I did get one of those fish in that school on the 6XD. Not a giant, but the biggest one of the day. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. Why couldn't I have figured this out 2 hours ago? That's like a 3.5, almost 4 pounder. Oh my gosh. Wow. They just wanted something really fast. Y'all, it is crazy what you learn in this sport. It really, really is. Because I would not have thought they wanted a 6XD because a deep crankbait was not the first thing that immediately popped into my head just because of how many trees are around here. But they stinking want a 6XD. Wow.
Well, the question is, was today a success? And, you know, by the metric of catching a 10-pounder, as I hope to do in every video in this series, no, today was a failure. But I always try to learn something in every video, and if I do that, if I learn something on every single fishing expedition that I take, I consider that a success. And today, I learned to never underestimate the deep crankbait. I should already know that. I have had experience in this series using the deep crankbait, and so I don't know why I didn't try it earlier, especially figuring those were bass, and as a matter of fact, some of the fish that I was seeing were bass. So I wish that I had grabbed my deep crankbait a little earlier on in the day. Maybe once I had figured that out, I would have had time to graph around with my side scan and traditional sonar to find schools of fish, because I really only found 1 or 2 schools, and definitely not more than 1 school that size. Again, there was probably 8 to 10 fish around that clump of 2 big trees right there. But I guarantee you, on some other deep areas of the lake, there were little schools of fish that I just completely missed out on because I didn't live scope near them. Whatever the case was, there were things I could have done better to, you know, give myself a better chance at catching that 10-pounder. I don't know if the one that I broke off was a 10, but it was definitely a nice one. Like I said, I'm cranking it, and then all of a sudden I see the fish chase after it. I don't know if I set the hook too hard or if I had a nick in my line. Whatever the deal was, I didn't land that fish, and that's okay. Because we have 4 more days in this series, and as we get closer to the end, of course, springtime is coming. We're gonna have a cold front here in the next few days, so I will not be wearing shorts and a t-shirt anymore. I will be back in my AFTCO Hydronaut suit, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you missed the last 10 days for a 10 episode, like I said, it was a struggle, but it is still a really cool video for you guys to watch. I will link that up here, boom, in this corner right here. My name's Tyler, and we'll see you guys next time right here on TRF.